gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about
we left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so.
So yeah, here with Veronica Macedo, Veronica Hardy now.
Veronica Hardy now. It was so hard to change my last name with the UFC, I'll tell you that. I've worked hard for it to say Hardy.
And you've worked hard in the ring as well. You know, some great performance on Saturday.
Thank you so much.
3 year layoff.
Yeah, I saw the stuff.
What's it looking like for you now? Do you want to get back in more often, more frequently?
I was thinking about doing the Paris show in September. I think it's going to be September 2nd. I just feel like it gives me enough time to improve all the things that I did bad in the fight, and also, yeah, I would like to fight in Paris. Yeah, I've gone there and I've commentated many shows, so being there in a team, because I trained at MMA Factory, and hopefully have Cyril there, because we were on the same card when he made his debut. Wow. And he was in the back, and I remember I was pretty nervous because I was on a 3-fight losing streak that was really bad. And he just had music and he was dancing and it just made me laugh, and yeah, I think I had like a good performance that night and it was great. So to be able to share that again, and I was in the last Paris show. Oh, the first Paris show.
Yeah, last year.
Yes, last year.
I was there also.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was there also.
Awesome, right?
It was so good.
Yeah.
Cyril and Ty.
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, so I did a bit of media for it. So,
nice.
So just to go there, but this time as a fighter would be awesome.
Yeah, so it's a bit like a homecoming for you.
Yeah.
Even though you're from everywhere.
Yeah,
sort of thing,
right?
Like
I feel like every time I message the matchmaker, I'm like, I've lived here, so this is why you should give me a fight in this place. And he's like, well, I'm sure you said that before. I'm like, yeah.
Indeed. And how is it to go? I don't want to pry into your personal life, but we've just been speaking to Dan, and he said that sometimes he gets more enthusiastic and more adrenaline for you fighting than he would have done himself, sort of thing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, he was. You can tell me he was. Yeah. Remember when they were like announcing me the winner, and I saw him out of the corner of my eye, and he was just so happy. He was just so happy that, it made me feel like warm inside, just because, you know, he's taking me to every training session. He's been there when I've cried after a training session because I was so bad, and, you know, like helped me out through little things and shown me fights and just been there for everything, and just to be able to share that with him, to walk out and have him behind me, have Jimmy, have Jack, it meant so much to me.
Yeah, no, that's good, and there's an iconic picture of obviously him up in the ring. That's great. And I think
it makes me tear up.
It
does.
You're gonna start making me cry now as well. But I think maybe a lot of people underestimating obviously Julianna Miller, who you were facing. She had a lot of hype behind her, obviously, you know, and you did the job. You got the job done. Do you take more pride in that you've had 3 years off, that it was somebody on big hype, and that you did beat her, or?
Yeah, you know, funny because I was like, I remember like throughout the 3 years, like sometimes watching amateur shows and watching pro fights and just thinking, all of these people would beat me. The amateurs, everybody would beat me, and just to be that low in confidence and training and like trying to put things together and realizing that a lot of my mistakes were in decision making, and I was just not doing the right things, not because I was lacking, obviously I was lacking skill still, but a lot of my failures were due to bad choices.
Okay.
And just to have that as a hypothesis, really, until you step in there, it was, I was more focused on just doing the fight than anything else. I knew she was a favorite, and honestly, like, because I do the Pigs podcast with Dan, I wouldn't have chose me for the fight. I would have also said, 3-year layoff. She's 1-4 in the UFC. She keeps making bad decisions and she gasses herself out because she's overly excited. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Julianna Miller, you know. So I wasn't bad about it. I knew that I had trained, and this fight was a fight that if I hadn't have fixed, I obviously haven't fully fixed all those mistakes, but if I haven't had fixed that to a certain degree, I was going to lose that fight. So it was one that had to test my maturity, my fight IQ, my patience. It was a lot of things that I had previously struggled with, which is kind of what the UFC do, right? Like if you lose a fight to a wrestler, the next one's gonna be a wrestler again, right? So I knew that was going to be the case going in there, and I knew that there was a lot of things that I had to fix about my approach to the fight, my style, in order to come out and win, and it was a really cool moment.
If there's another fighter who might be going through something similar that you were going through back then, what would be your advice to them so that they can also overcome and fulfill their potential as you have done?
Well, you're not running out of time. No matter the age you are, you're not running out of time. It's better to take a break and to absorb information and make sure you're healthy than to go back in there and do it again, because that would be the definition of stupidity. If you go out there and you expect different results doing the same thing, and that's something that I was doing constantly. I was just like, I'm working hard. Why is this not happening? I will put more willpower into this. And I remember hearing some fighters when they lose, like, I'm just going to come back stronger. And I would think, well, that's really dumb. Because the strength wasn't what lost you the fight, you know? But in reality, I was doing the same thing because I wasn't going back and I wasn't adjusting my mistakes. So I would just say, just keep trying. You know, just keep trying and try different things. And if something doesn't work, try a different route. It's not because you're bad. It's not because somebody else has some incredible thing that you don't have, or they have some great coach that you don't have. You can figure this out, but you have to try.
Wow.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom there from you. Very humble, very gracious, and thank you for doing this interview.
No, it was a pleasure. It was great speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times.
On the fence. I'm on the fence.
We don't need to talk about it.
Left hook from Yaoundé came and landed on him, you know, so